Go.
Welcome to the Manors Building 12 Orientation video. So we're going to go over the rules and regulations before you are to receive your certificate of approval. By now you should have received a copy of the rules and regulations so you can follow through in this video. All unit owners are obliged by law to comply with the provisions of the condominium documents and rules and regulations adopted by the Board of Directors as amended from time to time. The unit owner is responsible for compliance by his family, members, guests, and lessees. Resident identification. Membership in the association is limited to unit owners. In the event of a sale, a copy of the new deed must be submitted to the association as evidence of ownership. Photo identification card decals will be issued only to bona fide residents. If a unit owner designates another to be a bona fide resident, i.e. a parent, child, or lessee, the unit owner waives his right to a photo identification card and to use the recreational facilities, except as a guest, in which case he would have to pay the recreational fees as adopted by the Manors Club. Photo identification cards, automobile decals, or temporary passes must be presented at the security gate to gain entry. The guard is instructed not to allow entry upon recognition of residents or guests. In order to use the recreation facilities, this photo ID must be presented. Photo IDs and decals can be requested from the Manors Club office, which is located by the pool facilities. The cost for identification cards is $15 for an ID card and a entry card, which gains you access into the recreation facilities, and $5 for each decal for your barcode for your vehicle. These can all be paid to the Manors Club directly. That's located by the pool area. Occupancy. So Article 13 of the Declaration of Condominium provides that apartments shall be used for single-family residence only. The Board of Directors defines single-family as one or more persons related by blood, marriage, or adoption, or no more than two unrelated persons living and cooking together as a single housekeeping unit. No approval will be given to occupancy in excess of 3 persons in a 1-bedroom apartment or 4 persons in a 2-bedroom apartment. Now for the unit owners, rentals of all kinds are subject to the following. Unit owners who have contracted to purchase an apartment may not, during the first 2 years of ownerships, rent or lease the apartment to another party. No lease will be accepted containing automatic renewal or option clause, and it may not exceed 1 year in length. Month-to-month rentals, subleasing, or assignment or leases are not acceptable. Constitution of occupancy shall be permitted only under a new lease, which is subject to review and approval by the Board of Directors. Management must be notified 30 days in advance if a new lease is under consideration.
If the unit have violation, if the tenant cause a fear in the community or cause a fine, the lease could be in subject to renewal.
And at the end of each leasing period, the Board of Directors will determine if there has been any damage to the common areas or expense incurred by the association. Charges for such damage will be deducted from the $500 security deposit. The Sale and Rental Committee, together with the Board of Directors, reserves the right to adjudicate any special situation not expressly covered in the foregoing provisions. Guests. Overnight guests may be permitted to occupy the unit in the absence of the owner for a time not to exceed 21 days in total in any 12-month period. The unit owner must notify the management office in writing at least 5 days before guests arrive. Except for parents, adult children, or adult grandchildren, guests may not have guests. Use restrictions and responsibilities. Owner shall be held responsible for the actions of their family members, guests, or lessees. Any damage to the buildings, recreation facilities, or other common areas or equipment caused by a resident or his guests shall be repaired at the expense of the owner. If a security deposit is involved, the repair will be made at the cost of each repair will be deducted from the deposit. No resident or invitee shall make or permit any noise that will disturb other residents or permit to be done which will interfere with the rights, comforts, or convenience of other residents.
We do have a fining committee that do issue a fine, and if there is an excessive noise out of the unit, unit could be subject to receive a fine.
Residents shall not use or permit to be brought into the apartment any flammable oils or fluids such as gasoline, kerosene, benzene, or other explosive materials, or articles deemed to be extra hazardous to life, limb, or property.
This is a Florida statute that prohibits it.
No awnings, window guards, light reflective materials, hurricane or storm shutters, or other devices shall be installed, except as shall have been approved by the association. Window coverings shall be lined in white. The exterior of the apartment, including the patios, shall not be painted, decorated, or modified in any manner without prior consent from the association.
Also, we have balconies inspection that the fining committee doing if we find out that your unit have hanging clothes, bookshelf, bike, and etc. Your unit is in subject to get fined.
So no trade, business, profession, or other type of commercial activity may be conducted on the condominium property. No cooking or barbecuing is permitted on the terraces or common areas. No sign, notice, or advertisement shall be visible from the window of an apartment or automobile, nor shall it be painted or affixed to a vehicle. Except for patio furniture, no personal articles such as towels, bicycles, etc. may be stored on the terraces. Waterbeds are not permitted in the apartment, nor are fish tanks above 10-gallon capacity. Common areas. The owners shall not be allowed to put their names on an entry of the apartment or mail receptacle except in proper place and in the manner prescribed by the association. All garbage must be tied securely in plastic bags before placing in the trash chute. Newspaper, bottles, and large articles must be hand carried to the first floor trash room. Private arrangements can be made for the disposal of mattress, furniture, box springs, etc. When furniture is removed from the premises for any reason, the elevator pads must be installed.
When you're moving in or out of the facility, you gotta use only the elevator that have the pads. If you're using the other elevator and damage, you might be subject to a fine. You have to submit elevator pass that look like that. You can get it on our website. It's called application for elevator pass. You can drop it in the security room slot box, and the office will process it pretty quickly and post it in your door once it's approved.
So no radio or television aerials or antennas shall be attached or hung from the exterior of the apartment or the roof. Food and beverages may not be prepared or consumed on the common areas except as approved by the association. No wet or bare feet or spiked shoes are permitted in the lobbies or elevators, nor is topless attire permitted in the lobbies or elevators. Children should not be permitted to loiter or play in the lobbies, hallways, stairways, or elevators. Each unit is entitled to only one storage locker. Corridors shall be kept free of articles including doormats. There shall be no sunbathing, playing of games, or leaving of chairs or other articles on the common areas.
Common area, hallway, lobby, elevator, etc.
The grassy areas shall not be used as pathways, nor shall they be used for access to the first floor apartments. Vehicle and parking areas. Trucks, campers, vans, commercial and recreational oversized tires or raised chassis vehicles or other vehicles of similar nature may not be parked in the Manors of Inverrary complex between the hours of 6 p.m. and 8 a.m., except for moving vans which are not permitted on the grounds after 5 p.m. The foregoing restrictions shall not apply to specially constructed vehicles for the transportation of handicapped owners requiring the use of wheelchairs. Such vehicles must bear the handicap license plate from the state of Florida. Motorcycles, motorhomes, mopeds, boats, trailers are not permitted entry at any time. No vehicle shall be parked in such a manner to impede or prevent ready access to another owner's parking space. Vehicles shall not be parked unattended under the marquee of a building. Free access is required for fire and emergency vehicles. No vehicles which cannot operate on its own power shall not remain within the condominium property for more than 24 hours. No repair of vehicles shall be made within the condominium property. Automobiles are to be parked head-in only and within the parking lines of a single space. Automobiles with protective covers must be approved by the Manors Club located at the pool house area and the cover must have a permit attached to the cover. Improperly parked or unauthorized vehicles are subject to being towed away at owner's expense. The owner shall not cause or permit the blowing of a horn from any vehicle approaching or upon the condominium property.
Also, a lot of cars in the middle of the night, sometimes the alarm going off, you gotta make sure that your vehicle doesn't disturb the neighbors.
Car washing and waxing is prohibited. Repairs to automobiles or other vehicles shall not be made on the premises. Oil changing and radiator draining is prohibited. Residents are to use only their assigned parking spaces. Guests must park only in the guest spaces. Maintenance. Each unit owner who is absent from his apartment for an extended period of time or who uses his apartment as a part-time residence must remove all objects from the terrace. A responsible firm or individual must be designated to assure examination services to be contracted should the apartment suffer any damages. The management office must have a key to each apartment. No owner shall alter any lock or install a new lock on any door leading to his apartment without providing the association with a duplicate key. Use of such key is limited to emergency entry or to gain access for repairs to common areas. When a situation arises requiring access to an apartment and a key is not on file, forcible entry will be used and the unit owner will be assessed for any resulting damage.
Units that we will find that we don't have a key will be subject to a fine from our fining committee. Usually when we enter the unit, we leave a note that with our logo that say that we enter the unit, what is the reason that we enter the unit, and the date and the name of the people that was in the unit. We just don't enter the unit because we feel like. Usually it's emergency, broken pipe, water that somebody reported somewhere, or the fire department come to the office and need an access for somebody report a smoke coming out of the unit, and etc. So make sure that we have your key. It's very, very important that we will have a key to every single unit.
Unit owners shall not contact the maintenance department to perform any work within their apartments except in an emergency, which may cause damage to other units or common areas. Pets. No pets of any kind will be allowed on the premises. Pets previously approved may not be replaced upon their demise. Approved pets must be kept on a leash at all times and within the common areas must be carried within your arms.
A person that we're gonna find that walking with his dog in the hallway or in the elevator and the dog is not carried on his arm, it will be subject to a fine and the owner unit will be responsible.
Correct. The unit owners must also clean and contaminate any areas. Existing permission to keep a pet may be withdrawn at the sole discretion of the board of directors. Guests may not bring pets onto the premises. Vendors and moving vans. Outside contractors who are performing a service for a unit owner may not use the association's electricity. Common areas that may be affected by service people are to be cleaned up immediately. The unit owner will be held responsible and will be assessed for costs incurred by the association for cleanup or repairs. The management office must be notified at least 2 days in advance of arrival of moving vans. Elevator pads are mandatory and will be installed by management. Furniture moving or delivering is permitted only between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday through Saturday. The unit owner is responsible for any damage done by the mover. Payment for maintenance assessments. Soliciting is not allowed for any purposes, whether by resident or non-resident. Complaints regarding the operation of the common areas or regarding to actions of other residents must be made in writing and submitted to the management office. Violators of any of the above rules and regulations will receive notice from the management stating the offense. Thereafter, the violation is not corrected. The association will retain the services of an attorney to effect compliance, and all legal fees and costs will be assessed by the owner. These rules and regulations may be modified, added to, repealed at any time by the board of directors, or of the association in accordance with the provisions set forth by the bylaws section 4.5. It is the responsibility of the unit owner to become familiar with and familiarize his tenant with the rules and regulations. These rules and regulations were approved by the existing board of directors and filed with the Broward County. Remodeling. If remodeling upgrades are to be done to a unit, you must submit an architectural form, which looks like this. It's a request for architectural repairs.
You can get it on our website under documents.
Okay, you must fill this out accordingly to all the instructions, and you must also provide the license and insurance of your contractor. Once the request has been approved, you will post a sheet on your door. It's called a weekly timesheet. This is the approval that you've been approved for the work to be done, and your contractors will fill this out as they come and go to work. And all repairs must be done within 90 days of approval. Thank you for watching this video, and welcome to our beautiful community.